Let's turn now to U.S. politics as we take a look at the White House. Lots of questions this morning for Donald Trump's re-election campaign. Right now, Trump's campaign will do without a cornerstone moment. He is abruptly canceling plans for a big public event and events, plural, planned for the Republican National Convention next month. Nick Harper joins us right now from Washington. He is covering the story for us today. So, Nick, nice to see you. Trump had moved the convention, we have to remember, from North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida. And that's because Florida would actually allow the big crowds that he wanted for TV coverage. So talk to us about this surprise move to cancel big events altogether.
Well, Michael, this is certainly a huge U-turn from the president. That decision to ditch the convention in Jacksonville just a couple of weeks after he'd decided to move it there in the first place. Yes, he was going to hold it in North Carolina, but the Democratic governor there was putting restrictions in place that wouldn't have allowed for those big crowds. So the president said, let's move it to Florida. And now he's had to reverse those plans. This is what he had to say when he made the announcement.
I just felt it was wrong, Steve, to have people going to what turned out to be a hot spot. You know, when we chose it, it was not at all hot. It was free. And all of a sudden it happened quickly. It happens quickly. And it goes away, and it goes away quickly. The key is we wanted to go away without a lot of death.
Well, certainly there's been lots of reaction to this. Republicans have been praising his decision. His campaign re-election manager has said the president is leading by example. The Florida Republican Party have called it a selfless decision. Of course, the Democrats feel very differently. The Democratic National Committee saying the whole thing was an ego-driven political stunt, and they are glad the president has taken his head out of the sand and cancelled it. As for the people in Jacksonville, Florida, businesses there have been talking about this decision, and it seems overall they feel as if they've dodged a bullet, potentially being spared this huge super spreader event that could have come to their city.
Well, let me pick up on the point of the Democrats, though, because, as we know, the DNC have already moved events for their convention that was slated for Milwaukee online. Conventions, traditionally key events in any election year, with U.S. TV networks providing days of live coverage. So what could this mean for that campaign?
Well, you're right, Michael. These are huge events, an opportunity to have a party, to make lots of speeches, and to crown the person who will be leading your party heading into the election. Well, the Republicans will be hoping that this will essentially give their candidate, President Donald Trump, something of a boost in the polls, because they're playing to the narrative that this is the president standing up to the coronavirus, being proactive and making this decision, they say, for the health and safety of the American people, that he's setting an example, that he's encouraging people to social distance. But the Democrats have been arguing for months that that's exactly what the president has not been doing, that he hasn't been taking this pandemic seriously. And that's why we've seen cases continuing to rise on Thursday, topping 4 million infections in the United States. The president does need a boost. He's trailing by about 13 to 15 percentage points nationally to Joe Biden, his challenger. So certainly he's hoping that this decision that they've taken will do something to move the needle when it comes to the polling data.
Nick, thank you for that. And that is freelance reporter Nick Harper in Washington.